Now, what a huge weekend for both Cobh Ramblers and Derry City in the EA Sports Cup final, taking place in the Brandywell Stadium in Derry at 4 p.m. If you can't make it, it's live on Air Sport. In a moment, we're going to hear from the Cobh Ramblers manager, Stephen Henderson, about his team, the long trip, the fact that the drug testers, in fact, made a visit to their training ground this week, in the biggest week of their season, and what it would mean to Cobh Ramblers to win the EA Sports Cup. But we're going to start with the home team first, and we're very happy to welcome Derry City midfielder Aaron McEneff back to the podcast. Aaron joins us on Skype from Derry. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Jamie. How's things?
Great, thanks Aaron. Thanks a million for having a chat. Now, first things first, before we speak about the match, are Derry City going for cup final suits? And if they are, please tell me you're not in charge of picking them.
Nah, I don't think the boys be happy with me picking them. Definitely not. But again, everybody's got a different taste, so I probably wouldn't let a few of the lads pick a suit for myself, you know what I mean?
So, are you going for the suits or the tracksuits on a serious note?
I think it'll be tracksuits, Jamie, to be honest.
Okay, now every manager always says play the cup final like it's any other match, treat the week like it's any other week.
Yeah.
How's the week been in the lead? And we're speaking on Wednesday, of course, so we're a few days away from the game just yet.
Yeah. No, the week's been good. It's we haven't obviously had our full squad together because of the internationals. The boys have been away with the under-21s, both Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. The two lads from the Republic, they've joined up with a squad today for training, and the other lads will be in on Friday. But no, it's been good. The preparation's been good. Training's been sharp, and we're looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, of course, it's a big week as well with the Wednesday match the following Wednesday at home to Bohemians in that FAI Cup quarter-final. But I know firstly your focus is on this game against Cobh. What's your overall views on it? They've clearly beaten Dundalk in the previous round to get through to this final as well. They're a first division team. They're coming to Derry to win. But I'm sure you guys having home advantage, a packed out Brandywell for the first time since it's been redeveloped as well. It'd be great for you guys to win the cup, of course.
I think if you look at it from both teams' perspective, obviously it's a cup final, but both teams need to win, really. There's a cup at stake. We've obviously got the home advantage, and we'll obviously go on focusing on ourselves, and all the preparations been towards ourselves. Look, we've obviously looked at Cobh, and we know that they're going to be up for it, and they're going to be a good side coming up. They beat obviously Dundalk in the semi-final, so they're not going to come up to Derry in a cup final and let us walk over the top of them. We know that. It's going to be a good game of football, and hopefully we can come out on top and lift the trophy. Yeah,
I'm sure as well you're very happy to have home advantage in this match, and I find it interesting that the EA Sports Cup is always a flip of a coin or a hat out of a ball or a ball out of a hat, should I say, whatever it is. You're happy for it to be at home, but what's your views on the distance involved? And I'm sure if you guys had to go to Cobh, you would have been quite disappointed, and it's a long trip for them, and maybe the game should be in Dublin, but I'm sure you guys are very happy to have it in the Brandywell.
Personally, my views on it, I'm obviously happy that it is on the Brandywell, home advantage and stuff like that. But if the shoe was on the other foot and we had to travel to Cobh, I know I wouldn't be happy. It wouldn't feel right, and it's just obviously the long trip down there. It's a long trip for fans to come down and watch the game and stuff like that. I think personally that the final of any competition, if it's a cup final, it should be in a neutral ground. And I suppose Dublin wouldn't have been a bad shout for the both teams, but look, it is what it is, and we've got the home advantage, so I'm not going to do too much complaining.
Of course, well I am, because I'd like to be in Dublin, because therefore I could have went to it, but I won't. I'll watch it on Air Sports. Home advantage, you've mentioned it a couple of times. It is home advantage. It's going to be the first time that the Brandywell is going to be full, and I know there were issues over the Europa League qualifier and ticket prices and how the crowd was so low for that, but I'm sure you're really, really excited to try and win the cup at home, and the Brandywell will be packed for the first time since it's been rebuilt, which will be interesting to play in and a really good atmosphere. And I'm not sure how many fans Cobh will bring, so you'll be hoping to make that count. Well,
I'm sure they'll bring a good few up. Obviously, we've been a cup final, but look, the Brandywell started this year when it reopened, and we had a full house there for a number of games, and the crowd gives us a lift whenever you're playing, because the Brandywell is somewhere that has a brilliant atmosphere whenever when things are going well for the team, and obviously that helps the boys to get going, and it helps you to sort of just like it drives you on whenever maybe things aren't going as well in the game and stuff, and the crowd get behind you. It definitely does help. So looking forward to Sunday. if it is a full house, then I'm sure all the boys will be up for it and we'll be ready to go.
Aaron, in terms of the season that you guys have had, it, there's been mixed feelings on it, certainly in the media. Like, you're in a cup final this Sunday, you have a chance to make the FAI Cup semi-finals on Wednesday. You're still in the hunt for Europe in the league, even though, it's probably not in your own hands anymore. You were knocked out of the Europa League in the first qualifying round, but won in Minsk, having lost at home. What's been your own assessment of, like, looking earlier on, you've conceded the third highest goals in the Premier Division, but yet you play passing football. What's been your assessment of the season from inside the camp?
I think it has been, the word I would describe it would be inconsistent. We've gone on periods where we've been brilliant, and then we'll lose games, and then we'll win a game, and then we'll win another game, lose maybe two. It's just we haven't really found that consistency that maybe we had in the first, like, we played 10 games near the start of the season. We went unbeaten, but we somehow haven't got back to that, and I think that's the one word I would describe it as inconsistent. But look, it's not like I've seen the things on social media, people saying, "Oh, this and that," and I know it's not great about the goals and stuff like that we've conceded. But at the end of the day, we're in a cup final, and we've got a cup quarter final still to play for in the FAI Cup. And as you say, obviously in the league, we can still push towards a European spot, even though it's not in our hands. So, like, when I signed for Derry, we were in a much worse position than this, and I think we're coming into the business end of the season now, so we need to step up to the mark and just sort of take control of it, because it's in our hands.
Yeah, of course, as I said, you could still win 2 trophies as well, which would be a really good way to end an inconsistent season, Aaron, as you mentioned. Now, the one thing about the fact you're playing a first division team in Cobh is that you may not have seen too much of them, because Soccer Public doesn't cover the first division, and I'm sure, the fact that the distance between Cobh and Derry, you've not maybe seen them live at all. How much work have you guys done on them this week, and what's your thoughts on the threats they pose? Because clearly they've beaten Dundalk, they've been themselves up and down in the first division, but they're a good team, and they're coming to try and cause what Stephen Henderson would say is an upset, but they're still coming obviously to try and win the game, and they'll be as up for it as you guys are, of course.
No, look, we know about them. We've watched videos of them. We know they're a decent side, and a very organised side. They're well drilled in what they do, and they look like they're set up for teams to make mistakes, and they go and punish them. Obviously, they've done that. They Dundalk. They stayed in the game for periods, maybe when they don't have the ball, but when they got their chance, they took it. And I think we'll have to be switched on to that on Sunday. If we give them chances, then I'm sure they'll be ready to take them, and we can't do that with our passing style of football. I'm sure they'll be waiting for us to make mistakes to pounce on them.
And that's something that other teams, Aaron, have done this season, and have done to very good effect. But yet in other matches, the passing style has helped you guys win and helped you guys play a really exciting brand of football. You're playing in central midfield, so you're involved in both. You're involved in the build-up, and you're involved at the other end of the attacks as well, and also clearly in defending. Your own role is important in that, and there have been, particularly, I remember away to Shamrock Rovers and Tallaght Stadium, some ridiculous goals given away, but that's a style that you guys want to play and that the manager wants you to play, and it's something that you've not been happy to make mistakes with, but you've accepted at times, if this is the way we're going to play, at times we will lose the ball and teams will score, but if we do break that press as such, we're out and we're in the final third within 2 passes. Yeah.
No, it is. It's an open game of football when you're playing that passing style, but I think it's important that you shut the back door, and at times we haven't done that this year. So maybe there's times where we maybe should mix it up a bit during the game, just to get a feel for the other team and stuff like that. But look, we always want to get the ball down and play. I think in regards to Sunday's game, if we do make mistakes, which inevitably they're going to happen, because that's the style of football that you play, you're going to give the ball away at times and stuff like that. But when we do give it away, we have to react quick and try and get the ball back as quick as we can, because if we leave gaps in the pitch, especially the Brandywell, it's a massive pitch. If we leave gaps, I'm sure that Cobh will be able to exploit them.
What's the last thing your manager will say to you just before you go out to play in the cup final, Aaron?
The last thing he says before every game is good luck, but I think that'll be the last thing that he'll say on Sunday, but I'm sure he's going to say things like, go and enjoy it and go and express yourselves. That's the type of man Kenny is. Like, he's always wanting you to go and express yourself and get on the ball and show people what you can do. Obviously, he's going to be saying go and win the game as well. It's a cup final, but as he stands at the door before we go out, he'll just wish everyone luck, and that'll be it.
For you, excuse me, for you as a player who's played a lot of games now, Europe, the league and so on, will you be nervous or extra nervous on Sunday morning, on the morning of the cup final, or is it just the same for you?
I think it'll be a bit of the same. Obviously, I don't know about nervousness. I think it'll be a bit of excitement because I haven't played in a cup final for Derry yet, and obviously with it being at home and everyone you know is obviously going to be going to the game and stuff like that, there'll be excitement. But in terms of nerves, I don't think I'll be nervous.
Okay, so you'll just go and try and play it as any other match, and you'll be the same.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's another game of football. Obviously, it's got a level of an importance because it is a cup final. But look, it's a game of football at the end of the day, and you have to go and just try what you've prepared to do and carry out the job. And obviously, that is to lift the trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it'll be the same, hopefully, for you guys on Wednesday in that FAI Cup quarter-final at home to Bohs, Aaron. And, of course, the news this week with the draw on Monday that the winners of this match will be home again in the semi-final against Cork City. And I know your focus is clearly firstly on Cobh and then on Bohs, but just your thoughts on the draw, the Bohs game. And, as we said, it's a massive week and the chance to make the FAI Cup semi-finals and have a semi-final at home if you can do that.
Now, look, that game, obviously, we're preparing for the game on Sunday, but as you say, that game comes thick and fast against Bohs, and with them beating us for the first time in a while there on our last game, they're obviously going to be massively up for it. So we need to be switched on straight away, and it's a massive game for us because obviously if we win, we've got another home tie in the semi-final. And so I know Cork they're a great side, but it gives us a great chance to go and get into a final down in the Aviva, and if you ask any of the lads, I'm sure they all would want that. So I think after the final on Sunday, we'll be straight in on Monday to prepare for Wednesday.
Aaron McEneff, it's the EA Sports Cup final this coming Sunday. It's your team, Derry City, at home to Cobh Ramblers, 4 o'clock live on Air Sport. In 60 seconds, what would it mean to you and to Derry City to win the cup?
Me personally, it would mean a lot because I've been going to these cup finals when I was a young kid, and I've watched Derry play in the FAI Cup finals, EA Sports Cup finals. I've watched them in the Brandywell as a young boy, so it would mean a lot for me to go and lift the trophy on Sunday with the club. And I'm sure as a club it would be massive because we haven't won a trophy in a good few years now. So for the club and for the fans, it'd be brilliant for the city as a whole to just go and give everyone a lift, really. I'm sure there'll be a buzz. The fans will create that buzz. There has been a bit during the week, but when it comes Sunday, it comes kick-off, I'm sure the atmosphere in the Brandywell will be brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Aaron McEneff, as always, thank you so much for your time. And as a professional footballer, I'm going back to work, or to finish my day of work. It's 2:10 on Wednesday afternoon. Aaron's off for a nap. Enjoy yourself, sir. Best of luck on Sunday. Thanks a million.
Cheers, Jamie. I'll see you there.